The US Navy has done something that's terrifying. China, Russia, Iran, and Iran's friends bombing ships at the Red Sea. They can reload missiles while still at sea in a combat zone. That's really important because once our ships run out of missiles, they normally have to go back to port, sometimes thousands of miles, just to get replenished, but not anymore. See, the Navy can replenish ships using the normal side-by-side transport method, but they cannot do that with missiles. And even that traditional way with just food and fuel was very tricky given water conditions. And if you're loading something like a freaking missile with a 25-foot long canister, there's even less room for error. Even on land, that was a harder thing to do. This tested reload was done in sea state 4 conditions, meaning 6-foot seas and 20-mile-an-hour winds, and they still got it done without a hitch. Now, this concept is over 30 years old. They were trying it in the 1990s, but then they shelved it because there just wasn't enough demand signal for it. But because of what the Houthis have been doing since January, it became priority 1. On January 21st, they said, we gotta get this up and running. And boom, they delivered. Of course, the US Navy is saying they won't have this implemented on all ships until 2027, but they always give very conservative estimates and then deliver much earlier. But why does that scare China and its buddies? Well, 1, just in case they try to take this nice little island over here, US destroyers and other ships now will be able to constantly fire barrages if they need to without having to return to ports in Japan, South Korea, wherever else. It also means that when the Houthis start hiding after the US Navy keeps attacking them, they can't come out of their bunkers once the ships leave to have to get replenished. And that means Russia's buddies not going to be able to give them any cover if push ever does come to shove. Nobody else is talking about this because it's boring. It's just logistics. Also, the United States doesn't have to parade any of its weapons around for the world to see just to show them how tough they are. While these 3 countries always have military parades just to scare their own populace and maybe to send a signal to the rest of the world that, hey, look, we're not that easy to invade. While the American military barely publishes any tacit reminder that, oh yeah, we can totally kick the crap out of all of you if we ever need to. Question for you guys, how many troops has Russia, China, or Iran ever deployed overseas for an extended period of time, or for even more than a few days? Oh yeah, 0! While the United States has moved anywhere between 200,000 to 500,000 troops over 7,000 to 8,000 miles over the course of a couple weeks and kept their troops there for years, adequately stocked. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, guys, but I also want the military experts to weigh in if they can, like Alex Hollings. This guy contributes to papers that are submitted to the Pentagon, so he knows what's what. Chad Scott served in the Army, and he was a NATO advisor. The Intel guy was a Marine, involved in, believe it or not, Intel. And Preston Stewart, you guys already know who he is. He's probably one of the best military contributors on TikTok. I am the Geo Hussar, and tell me your thoughts. Thanks for watching.